Hello everyone. Let us solve a very interesting question today. It is LeetCode 36 valid Sudoku. I'll be solving it using Python, but if you feel like seeing the solution using Java or using some different approach, please mention that in the comments here. I'll take it into consideration while making the next video. Please like and subscribe my channel to see similar coding videos. So let us solve this question. As you see here in the question, we have a 9 by 9 Sudoku board, and we need to determine if this board in its current present state is valid or not. As the question indicates, only the filled cells need to be validated according to these three rules. First, each row should contain only 9 digits without any repetition. Second, each column should also contain digits 1 to 9 without any repetition. Third, there are 9 subgrids of size 3 by 3. Each of these subgrids should also contain 1 to 9 digits without any repetition. So let's see how we can solve this. First, let's understand our approach going forth. Okay. So here, as you can see, there is a grid 9 by 9. And in this example, which I'm displaying here, you can see that in the first column, the digits are filled from 1 to 8, whereas there is a ninth space there. So what according to you should be filled there? So it should be 9 logically, right? But if you see the last row, which has the digits displayed from 2 to 9, and if you fill it out, then you would say that the first cell should have 1 instead. So there is a conflict. So you would say that it's an invalid Sudoku. But I would tell you to rethink about the conditions provided in the question again. You should validate the Sudoku only with the filled values, not with the value that can be filled in an empty cell. So the ninth cell is not filled at present. That's why it is not a matter of contention there. The values which are present are valid. There are no duplicates in the currently filled values in the row, and there are no duplicates in the currently filled values in the column. So you need to gauge the Sudoku is valid or not only with the values which are currently filled in, not with the values that could be filled in. So let's see how we can solve it. So our algorithm should go as follows. We'll go through each and every cell to see if there are any duplicates filled in. For example, in the given example in question, in row 2, there are 4 digits filled and none of them are duplicates. So how can we check that? We can check that for rows by using a hash set. Basically, we are going to use a unique hash set for each of the 9 rows in the grid. Similarly, we can use a unique hash set for each column to check if there are any duplicates occurring within the column in the grid. So checking conditions 1 and 2 is quite simple. Adding an element to hash set has a time complexity of O1. Retrieving and verifying the duplicates from a hash set is also O1 time complexity. Thus, the total time complexity of conditions 1 and 2 would be the size of grid itself, which would be O of 9 square, which is constant. Now, checking the last condition is a trickier one. For each of these 3 by 3 subgrids, does any of them contain duplicates? How can we check that? We can use a hash set in each of these subgrid as well, but the coding would be a trickier part. Let me explain it. Here, in each of these 3 by 3 subgrids, if you see the example here, the rows and columns are numbered from 0 to 9, but the subgrids can be numbered from 0 to 2 row-wise and 0 to 2 column-wise. So if you need to represent a particular cell, whether it's part of 1 by 1 subgrid or it's part of 1 by 2 subgrid, how can you do that? To do that, say suppose you have a value in cell 2, 2, that is second row and second column, and you need to check which grid it is a part of. So we can do integer division by 3, say 2 by 3, which would be 0, and 2 by 3, which would be 0 again. So the value in cell 2 by 2 is actually residing in the grid 0 by 0. Isn't it correct? So let's check it for edge cases as well. Say suppose we have another cell value which is in cell 5, 5, that is fifth row and fifth column, and we need to check which grid it belongs to. And we can do that by doing integer division by 3. So 5 by 3 would be 1 and 5 by 3 would be again 1. So it would be 1 by 1 and it does belong to 1 by 1 grid. That means we can use unique hash set with key value as r by 3, c by 3. Now I think we have understood the concept. Let's look at the coding part here. So we'll define a set for rows We'll also define a collection of set for each of the column. Now, as we discussed, we'll also define a collection of set for each of the 3 by 3 grid. But here, the key would not be R by 3, but the key would be R by 3, 3 by 3. I hope that is clear. Now, we'll use a for loop for each of the rows in the 9 rows, and then for each of the column in 9 column. Now, first check if there is a value in current cell or not. So as it is mentioned in the question that the current value, if in the question is blank, that means there would be a dot there. So in that case, we don't need to do anything. We just do continue because we don't need to validate anything there. The next set of check would be if we have already seen the value which is there in the current cell, that is, we are coming across a duplicate. So for that, we'll check. Oh, it is there in one of the column already. So we'll check for column. Or it could be there in any of the grids already seen. Remember, key here would be R by 3, comma, C by. I hope that is clear. If we are coming across a duplicate, then we should return false since it could be an invalid Sudoku. Else, we need to add this value to our set. So rows dot add, and then we can add our value here of the current cell. Same way, we need to add this value to our set for column. And we need to add this value to our set for grids. And if once the value is added and the entire loop runs and we do not find any duplicates, that means that our Sudoku is valid. In that scenario, we can return true. So our code is complete. Like you can see, if you have understood the concept, then it is quite simple to code. Let's see if there are any errors which I made while coding. So it passes all the test cases. Let's submit. And you can see that it is accepted. So that is it for this particular question. But if you would like me to solve this particular question with some other approach, please let me know in the comments here. Please like and subscribe my channel for further videos for coding interviews. Thank you.